Boom, 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 boom. Mr. Stevie's Tool Toy Tales. Hello, welcome to the new look, Mr. Stevie's Tool Toy Tales. It's just different colors, to be honest with you. I thought I'd have a little refresh because I've had a week and a half off, and this is what I did. I changed the blue to red. Pwah, eh? Revolution! It's a complete revolution. On tonight's first episode of season 3, we will be looking at how we collect. How much do we collect? How much do we buy? How much space is available for us? I put a poll out on my Instagram. If you're not already following my poll my Instagram. Don't follow my poll. Follow my Instagram, Mr. Stevie 18. 1,000 of you had 700 respondents to this particular story question, and then a further 400 responses to the actual comments within the post. So I gathered like over 1,000 pieces of information, which is fantastic. You know, Instagram is great for gathering small snippets, and while 1,000 sounds a lot, it's not really a lot. This is very non-scientific. This is just me asking you lot what you think and what you do. And but I find it very useful. It is a piece of the puzzle that goes together to form an opinion and form strategy and form insights for us. So without you lot responding to these things, it would be a lot more difficult for us to make decisions. So thank you. But rest assured, the big caveat is it's not all based on this poll. Don't worry. We have lots of other research and other things to look into and gather both officially and unofficially. But nevertheless, I was fascinated by this poll. I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. And I thought this, Mr. Stevie's Tool Toy Tales, would be a good place to dig just a little bit deeper in on that. So you can see the question was, thinking about toy collecting, are you, especially you, buying more or less or about the same at the moment or in the future into 2026? Oh, by the way, Happy New Year to you. Well done. Well done for making it to 2026. Hope your New Year's resolutions are set firm and you haven't walked away from them already. Mine is I'm having dry January and February ready for my March 2nd birthday. I always do that every year, 2 months, no booze, looking after myself. He says looking after himself. I've actually really hurt my wrist and my arm. Last night I was playing ninjutsu with my daughter, and I was teaching her because I'm ninja trained. It's true. It is true. And but middle age doesn't like it. I wrenched my arm when I tried to pick her up and throw her. But anyway, there we go. So I hope your 26 is going well. So let's get back to the point, Steve. This question: are you buying more, less, or about the same? And a lot of people are buying less or thinking about buying less. And I wanted to dig into that a little bit more. So I gathered all the comments and I kind of went through them. Yeah, I'm bored. I went through them all and kind of started to sort of put in some thoughts behind them. And I want to share them with you. By all means, throw some thoughts into the comments. I might not get to all of them, but after this, please continue the conversation in the comments on my YouTube channel, or go over to Instagram and continue the conversation there, or don't continue with me, just continue with yourselves, or even just yourself. Just think about it, just ponder it. So the number one thing that came across with, are you buying less, more, or about the same, is price, right? Things are expensive at the moment. Everything is expensive, no matter what country. In some countries are more expensive than others. Where I am, I'm seeing groceries rocket. I'm seeing lots of things go up and up and up and up. And within the collector industry, it's no secret that it's tough at the moment. Labor and freight have substantially increased over the past year, and it makes things more expensive. And it's not just toys; it's everything. As I said, food, it's clothing, it's electronics, it's everything that you need to sort of have a life, I guess, is more expensive. So decisions and choices have to be made. So price is a trigger. It's something that clearly affects whether we buy more or less or about the same. But what I'm finding within looking through all the comments and talking to a few of you, that it's not necessarily the decision filter. It's not the deal breaker. It's a decision filter. Price sensitivity changes the way you shop, or the way you look at things. So let me turn you off because you can't see these quotes here. I want to make sure you can see them. So, prices have forced me to slow way down. I felt that. I looked at my eBay purchase record, and it was far less than last year. Oh my goodness, I was quite shocked. My wife was absolutely delighted, but I was quite shocked. So the increase in price that we're seeing and increases in prices of other things makes what we call an opportunity cost. Like, do I get this or do I get that? So it's kind of obvious, and it's forcing evaluation. it triggers other questions and considerations and thoughts. And a lot of you may not live on your own. You're with spouses or others or significant others or with your parents or whoever you are, but you start having conversations about what you're going to do with money and all that kind of stuff. So price is there, but it's what I'm finding is that none of you want to abandon collecting and go, wow, I'm not doing it at all. Just makes choices a little bit different, which we'll get into in the next few points. But the other thing we've seen is price and lack of space are definitely the main reasons. Now, that was interesting. And that leads on to definitely the next big thing, which is shelf space. Where do we put all this stuff? I don't know about you. I've been collecting 35 years and I got a lot of stuff. Some of you have got more, some of you have got less, but shelf space, that's difficult to say. Shelf space, toy tales, I can do that, but I can't do shelf space. Shelf space, fans still want to collect. You still love to collect. But I'm seeing a lot of us admit that we can't physically get any more. I haven't got any more room. What am I going to do? Space is just as big as issue as price, and I just don't have room anymore. Now, that might be a generational thing where the load of us that have been collecting for a while have just accumulated so much stuff. Maybe the younger generation of collectors, they're still fledgling. They're still building their collections. Maybe they haven't hit. Is there a limit? Can you negotiate with your spouse or your significant other for another room? I know I can't. So space is really, really and almost an immovable object, because unless you're super rich and you can afford to kind of like change a room into another collector room or add an extension to your house or move home, I don't think anybody is really like that flush. It's difficult. It's a finite space. And it means when you put something new in, something old has to go out, which is interesting. Now, I'm finding this, and I want to show you a couple of movies. I did this just quickly before we went on air. I just kind of wanted to show you one of the videos where, now, hang on, let me go there back here. So as you know, if you don't, oh, my arm. If you don't know, I collect in like little pods. So like, for example, there's my Adventure People pod, there's my ET pod, my Sesame Street pod, and I kind of keep them, I call them memory shelves. I keep a memory shelf, and that's the way I control my collection. I keep them distinct, or at least I try to. So here's an example of when that collection is the right amount and feels good within those memory shelves. So you can see here, my ET shelf is, I think, perfectly balanced. There's just enough stuff to look interesting and look at, but it's not too crowded. It could do with a little bit more on the left-hand top side. But my Star Wars stuff is laid out very similar. Like this is, I've got about 5 or 6 of these, but they're laid out very calmly, maybe a bit boringly. And that's another episode we'll get to in a couple of months, I think. But you can see, like, that's how I want my shelves to look. Kind of organized and clear and concise. But what I've noticed, and I don't think I'm alone here, is that while my space stays the same, my collection grows, I'm finding I'm getting this. So for example, my Sesame Street, I love this street scene, but I'm getting more and more, and I've had to start putting them up on the roof, which makes sense for birds, but doesn't make sense for Hamburglar. And my 80s shelf is getting really crammed. It's getting too crammed in the sense that I can't see everything. Like I can't see my space dust. Pause that there. I can't see my space dust and my Nutty magazine. I got Nutty #1 with original sealed space dust from 1981, I think. Those of you in UK will remember Nutty, who are of a certain age. Like, I want to show that off, but I'm kind of running out of space. Now I can do more memory shelves, but then if I do more memory shelves, I have to give up somewhere else. And I don't know whether I want to do that. And this is insane. Like, this is my crazy shelf. This is almost ruined now. Like, I love all my cereal mascots, but it's getting so crowded now that I think it's gone beyond interesting and intriguing to look at. And it's too much to look at. It's like looking at a magazine shelf. And so as I build my collection, and I've got a decent sized collection, it's not crazy. A lot of you have a lot bigger ones, I know, but I'm starting to kind of like think, well, what do I do? Like, this shelf spacing thing is a really big thing. Collecting is almost turning into curating, because now when I put something in, I got to take something out. I got to put something in, take something out. And I can't just amass stuff. I have to make choices. I have to make decisions, which is kind of interesting, kind of scary, kind of empowering in another way. So I'm moving from a collector to curator. I'm kind of moving stuff around. I'm buying less and moving stuff around. I'll use the analogy moving peas around a plate. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but I use that a lot. My kids will tell you. So collecting and curating. So pricing's having an impact. Shelf and space is having impact depending on where we are in our collecting journey. 52, 53 in 2 months. I kind of like, have I reached my collecting limits? I don't know. And remember, I collect retro stuff. I don't collect new lines. Like I work on Marvel Legends. I could never collect Marvel Legends. Like I don't know. I'm not psychologically built to continue. Bungo is gone. To continue buying stuff that is still coming out. I find that intimidating. And I wouldn't know how to control my space. But a lot of you love that thing. So like everyone's different. So we're moving from collecting to curating. And this brings me on to the next observation that I saw from your comments, which I think has blown me away. I don't know how to react to it yet. There's two observations coming up that I was just like, oh my God, I've never thought of that. The first one, intentionality. This is going to be a word I'm going to dig into a lot in 2026. As collectors grow, as our collections grow, as we mature, as our lives change and decisions have to be made within a world that is full of decisions and hard decisions, we're finding that we're maybe buying less, but we want what we buy. You can see I've lowered my microphone. I keep tapping it because I'm all hands, you know me. We're buying less, but we need it to mean more because we collect for joy. We collect for, I'm going to come back. We collect for joy. We collect for meaning in our lives, whether it's capturing our youth, whether it's feeling part of a community, but there is joy in collecting. I hope each one of you feel that. If you don't, why are you doing it? Like that's why I do it. But like intentionality is now coming into play. I have to choose. I'm buying less stuff, but the stuff I do buy means more. Or hopes to mean more. I don't feel the need to chase everything anymore. That was a big one. Bustleton Boba. I don't feel the need to chase everything. We're choosing. We're making our own decisions about what we collect, whether it's forced or just our maturity as we grow up, or just maybe we're getting sick of it. Are we getting sick of collecting? I'm not, but it is different. And we'll come to the chat in a minute. I'd like to get your opinions on this. Part of this intentionality means that does that change the way that I have to think about developing the lines that I'm in charge of from a design point of view? Maybe. I don't know yet, but it's really interesting. Intentionality also, this idea of controlling your collection is not new. I have looked at this, and if you haven't been to season 2 of Mr. Stevie's Toy Tales, please go see episode 8, Why We Collect Toys. I talk about the ABCs of collecting. A being I can't remember, achievement. B being belonging in terms of community, and C being control. Like we choose what to collect. No one else chooses what. You choose what you collect. Now, if you're a completist and you blame me for that, that's your fault. Like you don't have to be a completist, but ultimately we choose what we collect. So we're in control. And to be fair, what are you in control of your life? Like, that's not a lot. So collecting, I think, hits this A, B's, and C. So please go and check out episode 8 of season 2 of Mr. Stevie's Toy Tales and see if you agree and leave comments and yada yada yada. Maybe I'll revamp this after I thought about intentionality a little bit more. So the last observation I saw, so we looked at pricing, we looked at space, we looked at intentionality brought on by pricing and space. And this idea of endgames come up. Are you stopping? Are we reaching the limit of our collectible ability? Are we all, how many of us are later stage collectors? Like, how am I going to say that? Galagos Rapix. I don't know. I can't even begin to pronounce that. My collection feels pretty complete now. Excuse me, guys, charming. My collection feels pretty complete now. Wow. Does it? I guess all things fill up eventually. I'm at a different stage than I was years ago. Cool collectibles. Collectibles. I don't know if that makes me sad or does it make me intrigued? This idea of changing the way you collect because of your life stage or the things around you is really interesting. I'm going to bring you back on. Uh, I've thought about this, and I'm going to say this very inflammatory. Excuse the pun, um, but I do think about this, and I think about it in extremes. So, like, I have adored collecting all of this. It has, in some ways, saved my life. But there is a sadness to having it all. Because I'm kind of like, well, I'm kind of got it. I've done it, and kind of anticlimactic. I'll be honest with you. It's the same with my job. Looking after Star Wars in 2015 when I got that job. That was the pinnacle of my career, and I was like, I've peaked. I've peaked too soon. I've got it. What do I do now? So this whole collection is like, it means so much to me. But there is a part of me, I'd love to do it again. I'd love to collect it all again, wouldn't you? Now, money and all that kind of stuff and time and effort, but like the joy of collecting and finding stuff. So I often say to my wife, and I don't want this to happen, touch wood, like if I lost all this, if this burnt down, I would be devastated for losing all this stuff, but I would then secretly be kind of like, I get to get it all again. Wow. So that's kind of how I look at it. And remember, I'm buying finite pieces so I can go out and find stuff. So I'm going to be different to you. So this idea of this end game of most of our goals may already be met. Our space is limited. Prices are going up just generally, whether it's the toys we buy or the things around it that we have to buy to kind of get on with life. Completion changes. What is completion? These things behind us have to earn their space on our shelf more, and they have to have more meaning. Now, this is where I get very excited. I get a little bit scared, but fear is a great motivator. It's like, wow, I'm in charge of Marvel Legends, does about 150, 170 figures a year. Black Series does like 70 figures. TVC does 50 figures. Retro does 6 figures at the moment. But do I have to, like, is everyone going to buy all those? How do I change the meaning behind each one of those? Is it about volume anymore? Or do we need to look at things completely differently with this idea of intentionality? Or do I have to change focus to a different generation? How do we balance the focus of generations? Because there are people who are like my age. I'm sure some of you are older than me. Some of you are younger. And we're all at different stages of our lifelong love of toys. And how do we create moments along that journey that are right for those people at those particular times, but also propels us along that journey? God. And again, I don't have the answer, but I'm really going to think about it. And this is what I love about my job, is that I can get little snippets and nuggets. Like, to be honest with you, am I even on this one? I am less bothered about this kind of more or less about like the numbers and things. Yeah, okay. It's useful. I am more interested in, bring it back on, in the little nuggets. So someone used this word intentionality, or my intentions have changed. And I was like, oh, what's that? So anyway, that's what I've got out of all these observations. So I'm going to now look at the comments and kind of throw some stuff up. I'm just not going to read them. So you have no plan of stopping. Great. Thank you. I just buy what I like. That's fantastic. Let's find something else. There is no end game for collectors. Okay. All right. I hope not. I'm not going to stop, but I might change. So a lot of you obviously you go for it. Hey, how you doing, Dan? You obviously go for it. What's this one? Let's go this one. Repacks, reissues are nature of the beast, but now in price increase, repacks need to be smart. Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Like, we need repacks, or I don't like the word repacks, reissues. I like reissues to bring in new people. Like, if I want to bring someone into Star Wars, for example, yeah, guess what? I better have a Darth Vader on offer somewhere, or otherwise they might not come in. But I understand that people who are my generation have been collecting a long time. I've already got him. So it's I can't win, but it's worth thinking. It's a balance thing. And like, especially when there are old figures that are now cost more to make. Like, if I get a figure that's 5, 6, 7 years old, That's not the same cost to make. I've just told you, like labor and freight have like rocketed. So it's like, oh God, what do we do? So these are challenges. These are really challenges. Um, it's the journey that's the most important. Yeah, I mean, this journey is crazy, and each one of us probably has a very different journey, but it's essentially the same, which is a dichotomy. I don't quite know what that means, but like we all collect sort for the same human reason, but our journey, our path is different, but similar. So who's this? I've clicked them all twice. All right. Well, you're safeguarding your future. Maybe I'll click twice. No, I don't know. Uh, apart from some TV series, I'm pretty much done for Star Wars, but never say never. Ron, I hope you're not. I hope you come back. And that's the other thing. It's like, how do I bring people back that have sort of gone off either from a brand or from a different figure format or something else? And that's fine. I want you to. I want you to go and explore. I don't want to. I don't want to kind of keep you kidnapped, as it were. But you can see this is a big part of my job. This is a big part of my job. It's a big part of my passion, and it's. I kind of love it. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you because I couldn't really do it on Instagram. So Instagram is a great tool for gauging and gathering information, but this is where we can talk more about it. And I'm just going to throw stuff up. Yeah, we all love the thrill of the hunt. Oh no, there's that one I wanted to say. Yeah, Dan. Yeah. Is it the thrill hunt more than the catch? Sometimes it is. It absolutely is. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up there. It's 20 minutes. That's long enough, I think, for just kind of digging into that. But continue this conversation. Think about it. Think about it. Shoot me some DMs. Put some comments below here. Remember to like and subscribe this. I think. I don't know whether that helps the algorithm or not. I don't really do it for the algorithms. I do it just because it's a platform to have discussions and get thoughts. But please drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hit me up on Instagram and share your comments there as well. I quite like these live ones where we have discussions. I'm going to make sure that season 3 is a mixture of pre-recorded videos that explore different types of products and toys and eras mixed in with some live talking stuff. And so you can see now I've got all these kind of rolling comments. I'm going to try and do this a little bit more. I'm not quite ready yet to have people on. I need to work out how to do that a little bit. What I'd love to be able to do is like kind of just like hit a button and one of you pop up and you can say something. I'll work on that, but it's going to be a mixture. So my next episode that I'm going to prep up is going to be around what's in this box that I what I picked up from eBay. And so my next episode 2, is going to be all about Richard Scarey. Cars and trucks and things that go, Busy Town, all his Puzzle Town. I did a quick Instagram one like years ago, but I've got a really reasonably decent collection of stuff now. And I got some more stuff in that box, which I'll open live. Well, it won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded. So stay tuned for episode 2, which will all be about Richard Scarey. If you don't know who Richard Scarey is, tune into episode 2 and you will find out, because that's what I'll be doing. Right. All right. It's Sunday. I'm back to work tomorrow. Got to get my feet under the table again and get planning. 27 is kind of planned now. It's exciting. Got to start 28 soon. And for those of you going back to work, deep breath. It'll be fine. You'll get used to it. It'll all be okay. Anyway, right. So some of you loved Busy Town books as a kid. Good. So you will enjoy episode 2. All right. That's enough. You can carry on chatting in the comments. Have a nice rest of the evening. Have a good, safe week. And I'll see you in a week or 2 for Richard Scarey. And also keep an eye out on my customs, Mr. Stevie's Customs, because I am making little wombles, for those of you who know who a womble is. So don't go anywhere, but at the same time, bugger off.